Well, January is Human Trafficking Prevention Month, and next week the Auburn Public Library is showing a powerful documentary that tells the story of 4 courageous Maine women who endured the dark world of sex trafficking and survived.
It's called Sexploitation and also shows how the survivors turn their trauma into a life of service for others. Here to tell us more are survivor Tricia Grant and victim advocate Jaime Ricker. Good morning to both of you. Thank you for being here.
Good morning. Good morning.
Really appreciate it. So Tricia, you were featured in this film. Why was it so important for you to tell your story?
Well, it's so important to hear this because it is happening in every community in our state, and I was a survivor. I am a survivor. I was trafficked here in Maine at 15, and I never told anybody for 16 years that that's what happened to me because I didn't know there was a name for it, and I didn't know that it wasn't my fault. So it took me another year and a half just to tell anybody, and I don't want other survivors to feel like they have to sit in silence and sit in that pain as long as I did.
Jaime, tell us about you, the role as a victim advocate with sexual assault prevention and response services.
The role really is supporting survivors and those impacted by trafficking and exploitation. I work within SAPPers, which is really looking at the impacts of sexual violence, which includes sex trafficking and exploitation. So in my role, it's really walking alongside survivors and those who are impacted and finding ways to get out, supporting them, even sometimes if it's not safe to leave, how can we safety plan and work with them and with a lot of our community partners. It's not just Tricia and I supporting each other as a survivor, bringing her in, but really as a community and working with a lot of our local partners to meet the need of the survivor.
And Tricia, you're now the executive director of Just Love Worldwide. How are you using that to help others?
So we focus in 3 areas, one of those areas being education, where we do things like this and show up where people ask us to show up to get information out. We go to schools, we go to law enforcement departments, we go to chambers of commerce to talk with the hospitality industry because trafficking is happening in hotels and at restaurants. And we run our first diversion program for men who get caught buying sex for the first time. They come through our program, and we're getting ready to ramp up our 7th cohort. So that's all under education, and that's just a little bit of what we do. The other parts of what we do is providing support for survivors, just like Jaime does and like SAPPers does. We do similar things, but I'm able to come at it from a little bit of a different perspective as a survivor and able to journey with them and just process through survivor to survivor what they're walking through. And we do similar things, helping them find housing or food or whatever it is that they're looking for. So the other piece that we do is policy work, which is something I'm new to. Over the past few years, we've engaged in more policy work. So we created 1435 and 1436 that we're now in the process of implementing, which in a nutshell supports survivors so that they can get their records sealed. So if they've had records for prostitution, they can have those records sealed so it's no longer impacting their ability to get jobs and shelter, find housing. But the other part of what it does is it holds buyers accountable, and it also shows that there's another way to do this, because for too long we've been going after the wrong parts of this, which is the people being victimized. So we're now focusing on the people doing the victimization, which are the buyers, and going after the traffickers and pimps.
How big of a problem is human trafficking? And also, are there any misconceptions out there?
I mean, I think definitely it's a big problem. I think it's been around for years and years that we've, I think just as Tricia explained, like she didn't know there was a word for it. And I don't think as us doing services and providing services to survivors, we didn't even know the language. But it's been around for so long that the laws have finally started to change and recognizing that sex trafficking is happening. We have an aggravated sex trafficking law, not a legal person, not going to pretend to, but really recognizing the rights and supports and how we can help support beyond the legal aspects. And because there doesn't need to be law enforcement involvement, there doesn't need to be court involvement to get supports. So I think, yes, it's been around a really long time, and it is happening here. living in the world to think that it's not is not, you can't do that anymore.
Why would you encourage people to watch the film and come to this event on January 30th?
I personally, I know from my own experience that hearing survivor stories, even knowing my own story and hearing from other survivors, helps people to make this a reality. It shows people this is human, this is happening every day. There are between, this is old statistics, 2015 statistics, but there's between 200 and 300 cases every year of trafficking. 200, 300, 300, 400. I can't even remember, but the numbers are very high. And people need to realize this is happening every day. And watching films like this, instead of watching films like Taken or movies that portray a form of trafficking that rarely happens, people being kidnapped, that rarely happens. Usually what you're seeing is people right in front of you who are being trafficked and being exploited, and you're not even aware because you don't know what you're looking at.
Maybe there's something both of you guys could kind of answer. What are some signs that something might be happening or could be happening, you know?
I think it's hard to look at those signs. I think being the people who are close, like you say, you may not know what's happening, but recognizing that this is all ages. It could be somebody being out of state. Somebody has taken someone out of state at times. It could be they're at school, but they're maybe tired, or there's changed behaviors that weren't there prior to, and recognizing that. Tattoos sometimes. It can be very subtle, and I think that's the thing of just being able to knowing who you're talking to, and if there's a shift, and having those conversations. Are you okay? Is there something going on? You know, we can go through the list of our red flags and things to look at, but I also think that sometimes those get stuck and lost, and people want to look for them, and they're going to miss what else is going on because you're looking for that checklist, and it's not always the checklist that we're seeing.
And anything, Tricia, you'd like to add to that, just as someone who's been through this?
Well, I think like Jaime said, pay attention to the people around you. Pay attention to, you know, that niece or nephew that might not have parents that are as supportive, and looking over their social media and paying attention to what they're doing on their phones. Just being human with people and looking at people face to face instead of looking at your screen constantly is going to help you to identify that. And one thing that I always talk about is, if you want to be able to identify this, you have to look at your own person, you as a person, and figure out what your own biases are, figure out what your own judgments are. Because if you're seeing somebody on a street corner and looking at them as just a prostitute, you're missing it, because that person is likely being exploited. If you're looking at that person who's panhandling like they're an inconvenience, or like they're, you know, like they shouldn't be there, then you're not going to see what you need to be seeing to be able to help somebody. If you're looking at that teen mom, I was a teen mom. I was 14 and living on my own in my own apartment, and I got a lot of judgment, which prevented me from getting the resources and the help that I desperately needed, because I heard people making comments like, there's more of my tax dollars going to waste. There's another kid that's going to end up in the system, talking about my child that I was desperately trying to care for and love the best that I could as a 14-year-old. If you're judging me instead of looking at me as a human, you're going to miss it.
Is there a good website? Yeah.
I'm sorry?
Is there a good website people can go to for more information?
I mean, there's a number of them. The Maine Coalition Against Sexual Assault, MICASA, has a website. Maine STEN underneath their website. MCEDV as well. Those are, you know, our collaborative. Preble Street also has their anti-trafficking services, which will give you resources. Polaris Project is a national website. Blue Campaign is another one that I'm thinking of. So people can go and look at, do a Google search, be careful, but those are some of the places that we would kind of go and look to see getting resources and information.
Well, thank
And
you
of
both.
course, Just Love Worldwide.
Yes,
Of course,
just-
of course,
absolutely.
yes. Thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it. And for